Hi, everybody. This is Matt Rhine with your monthly update. I'm going to try to send these out to give you a quick snippet if you were interested in potentially making a move or just wanted to have some information in real estate so you sound smart at your next office party, cocktail party this holiday season. Let's start with the news of the day, and that's up here on the highlight reel on my browser. That's how the government, more specifically Trump, is proposing a 50-year mortgage product. And if you've read anything about that, that does seem very interesting. It's very controversial. What that's going to allow people to do is reduce your overall payment because you're amortizing. You're going to spread those payments out for 50 years versus 30. And that in some respects will make it more affordable. It will allow people to potentially get approved for a home where they wouldn't otherwise, but also got to recognize it's going to take almost 40 years to pay off half of your home. Because if you know anything about amortization, how this all works, you pay mostly interest in the front end of this loan, mostly principal near the end. So it really backloads all of the principal payments. So I can tell you it's great from a real estate agent perspective. We're going to be able to sell more homes. More people can get qualified for those homes. But I can tell you as a consumer, prices will go up. That's the natural effect of all of this. Prices are going to go up because there's a limited supply of housing at the moment, which we've been dealing with, which I'll show you as a market update just in a moment. The supply has shrunk in terms of the general options buyers have. So there's not as much inventory. Therefore, prices will go up when more people have access to that inventory. So I'm very mixed with how I feel about it as an agent, right? Yes, it's wonderful. As a consumer, if you can qualify for 30, please do 30. In fact, if you can qualify for 15 and swing those payments, it's better yet to even do that. All of that is different, however, if you're an investor, and that's a whole separate discussion because then you're dealing with cash flow. So if you're an investor, reach out. I'll help you navigate these waters. Once again, 50-year mortgages are not available yet, but they're certainly being discussed, and that might be something we're going to discuss in a lot more detail if it actually becomes reality here soon. So let's get into the actual market update. So real quick, I want to show my screen as it relates to closed, pending, actives, and months of supply. This is something I'm going to touch on in future videos. So I'm going to educate you here as well. So look at closed sales. You can see what the 5-year average is versus what it is currently in October. This is the latest information we have. We're always about a month behind. You can see we're down slightly in terms of closed sales in the Baltimore Metro. Our pendings are down slightly. But the big news here is the active listings compared to what we've been used to, which is slim pickings for the last couple of years. You're seeing a lot more inventory come to the market as well as inventory. So when I say inventory, it's months of supply. If nothing new came to the market, how long would it take to sell the existing homes we have to sell? And now it's about 2.5 months versus 1.7 months historically over the last 5 years. So in a balanced market, it should tick up even higher than this, which is actually good for the general market at large. So that's just a quick update there. Notice here the craziness of COVID when we had tremendous sales with really low interest rates. We had over 10,000 pending in sales in just 2021. And as you can tell, it's gone down to roughly 40% since then when interest rates have bumped up and you saw a compression, a tightening of the housing market. So it's essentially stable at this point is how I would discuss that. Now let's go down here. So just the top 2 or 3 things to consider. Look here, you have the median sold prices, and you can see in the various locations in the Baltimore metro area. In general, prices have ticked up. And this is the median now. It's just gives you a glimpse. Howard County is up 2%. Carroll's up 7.6%. Anne Arundel has gone down slightly by 3%. The metro market in general is up almost 4%. And the city is up almost 8%. Now, this is just in 1 month. If you look at the year-to-date change, you can see everybody's experienced growth. So prices have gone up. That's what you need to know there. And that's pretty consistent. What is really newsworthy here is look at the number of active listings. Look at no matter where you might live, whether you're in the city or in the county, you'll see the amount of year-to-date change in inventory is massive. Look in Howard County. You had 53% an increase in availability of potential listings for you to choose from as a buyer. Now, as a seller, now you have to be smart. You saw prices ticked up, but also, there's more competition. I can tell you firsthand, for the really nice homes, there are multiple offers. It's extremely competitive. You have to be smart. But there's still more choices. If you're willing to do a little bit of work and put in some elbow grease, so to speak, you're going to be able to get a better deal now than you did last year. These are facts. So the active is really important to look at. And then also look at all your pendings. The pendings, this is the leading indicator. It's not looking at sales, things that close. These are the pendings under contract. You'll see things are down. In general, the metro area is down almost 9% for the year to date. And just this month, you can see it's down roughly the same. When I say roughly, it looks exactly the same. It mirrors what you see for the year. So overall, it looks like pendings, and by the way, that's silly. Pendings should be mirroring the month. That's why that's that way. But regardless, what you'll see is the pendings are going down and inventory is going up. So what does all that mean in reality for us if you're considering buying and stepping into the market or selling? You got to be really competitive. You need to stage your home. You need to price it competitively. You need to do all the things if you want the great market that we still have in our midst, because it's still a great market. And in years past, this is not what we've seen. We have rates that are starting to tick down. Interest rates currently, I just had someone approved yesterday for 5.99%. So if you're super well qualified, you're going to be in that ballpark, low sixes or even in the upper fives. And you had rates at 7.5% just a year ago. So this is kind of where we are. I think it's going to be an interesting next couple of months. I don't think anyone knows exactly where we're headed, but this is a snapshot in time of where we are. Once again, if you have any questions or if you have potential interest to step into the market, please reach out. That's what we're here for. That's it. Talk to you guys next month.